Alright, so we'll load it up here. We start off with a login screen. So I'll go through the process of what a customer goes through. So we'll start off with the Office admin account. So this would be the first person you would sort of see when you would sort of log in. When you've got to log in, we've got a show password thing there just for sort of ease and access, so you know that if you type the password in right, login successful. So we've got some of the features at the top there of what this person can access. So as we sort of log in and out of the accounts, you'll sort of see this change depending on what person can and can't access stuff. So for the sake, we'll add a new customer. We'll just say they are active. So if we try and add a new customer, something's wrong with the details, please make sure the details are correct. Now I know that seems like a vague message, but the reason is because there's some validation on the phone number, so it needs to start with a 0 and it needs to have the correct number of digits. So if we were to put a 6 in there, so that is now a correct phone number, it should work. Brilliant. So now then, customer ID number is 8. Now they've also brought a vehicle in. The reason that we separate it is so that a customer might have more than one vehicle. You don't want to just link one vehicle to a customer, because then it will be duplication of data. Yeah. So now we need to add a new vehicle. Ford GT. We'll say John's doing well for himself. I'll also enter a number plate in that might be sort of incorrect. I'll just put a number of A's. I won't have a VIN number, but that's just a 17-digit number. Okay. And we'll have vehicle colour blue. So we try and add this vehicle. There's an issue with the number plate field. Please ensure it's valid and enter valid instance. So that one is done differently to the validation on the phone number one. So this one uses a regex style format, and the other one is just sort of standard sort of C# validation. So I'll put a proper number plate in. And it also limits it did limit the text. It started not doing it now. Anyway. Now I've got a vehicle ID of 10, so it was a customer ID of 8 and a vehicle ID of 10. Okay. So now we need to link them together. So while it does seem a little bit finicky, what it kind of ensures that only the right people are getting linked to the right account rather than sort of separating it out. But we can select from here, so that's number 8, and it sort of fills in some of the vital details you'll be able to identify who the person is. I've got the Ford GT there, so then link the customer and the vehicle. Then the customer vehicle ID link is 10. So that's going to be like their sort of customer number. So whenever they wanted to come in, and depending on what car it was in, they would go, okay, that's my sort of ID number whenever they would come in. So if any for future jobs, they would just store that number somewhere. That's what they would keep. So now we're going to add a new job. Then we can link it to a staff member. So in this instance, it kind of needs to be assigned to a head mechanic. So we're going to assign it to 7, or Mark Gibbons. He's one of the head mechanics of the company. And customer vehicle ID is 10. And we're going to say the job is not started because we're going to add things to it. So then we add a new job. Finally, the job key ID for this is 10, so that would be the internal number that they would use. So that would be the one that they would store on a key or something, then put it to one side. And it sort of, hides away from like the number plate or anything like that. So wouldn't be able to identify if it got, nicked or anything like that. So with that, we're going to log into what the head mechanic would see now. So we're going to log into the head mechanic account. So we just hit quit application at the top, and then it will close down. So the head mechanic account was Mark. So we can sort of see the head mechanic has got different ID at the top, so they can't see the customer in the vehicle field. They can only see jobs, tasks, and parts. So we can create tasks for a job. So add task to job. And it was the job that we just created, job 10. Then we can assign it to a specific mechanic. Now this list is limited to those that are only listed in the company database as those that are mechanics or head mechanics. So you can't assign an office admin or a sysadmin to a job. So for this one we'll use number 6, which is Ringo. And then we can use these to select the task ID. So Ford GT, we'll say that's a large car, so full service, large car. And for that instance, there will be no parts required because it's just a service at the minute. We can add the task to the job. And we can also say that one was in for an MOT. Again, no parts required. And there is a sundries one, so if there is like specific parts that you do need, So we can do that, and we'll say whatever. Yeah, it needs a new car battery, so we'll say that. So that's all the tasks listed to the job at the minute. We can also add a note to the job. So if we come out of here, add edit note to job ID 10. Sort of see we've got all the sort of details there, so who the customer is, what the car is, any sort of note, and we just enter it into this box. So we'll say full service MOT and needs new battery, add the note, and then it should appear at the end there, so anyone can sort of log in and sort of see what the jobs are for the notes. Then we can sort of view the job list. Now, what this one does is it only shows this job list to those that are, minimize that, there we go. It only shows the ones that are listed to that specific staff ID. So currently these are all the jobs that are sort of either ongoing or awaiting approval. We can sort of see their job finished, waiting approval. So these are jobs that have been like completely like finished and then they've been approved for being finished. So if you don't want to see those, we can hide those by ticking that with hide done. Then it limits only to ones that are sort of currently active. And hide active jobs, yeah, and edit job as well. So we'll just have a look at that while we're here. There we go, so that's the one. So we'll say that that job is actually started now, and then we can save that, and then that job details has now been saved to started. So now we'll log out again and we'll look at it from what an actual mechanic sees, from a mechanic's perspective. So that was Ringo. So again, even more limitations to what they can see. So view current active tasks. So what they can do, view current active tasks for the job. So these are again limited to the person that is logged in. So these are just the tasks that are currently available for Ringo. Right. So, and it also limits it so it only shows the 10 oldest non-complete tasks, right, okay, if that makes sense. Yeah. So because I know there was sort of a limit in the brief about only assigning 10 tasks. I thought that was a little bit limiting because then you're sort of closing off your business potentially to some people. Yeah. So you can still take on new jobs, but mechanics won't see it. They'll just see the 10 oldest that haven't been completed. And then we can edit the task on the job. So the form is slightly different, so we can't edit some of these fields in order to say that they can't change what the task is, for example. Yeah. So I think when we log into the system admin account next, you'll be able to see some of these are actually there, but because we don't want the person sort of editing what task is being done on the job, they just want them to edit like whether a task is complete or not. So we'll say, yeah, we'll say that's complete, and we'll say they're all complete. I probably should have saved changes, that would have helped, yep. So it is slightly finicky in that sense that you have to sort of do one at a time, unfortunately. There we go, now we can see we can also tick those and it should sort of do them all in one. Yes, we'll say that all those are complete for Ringo. And finally, so he's completed all the tasks on that job because they're all assigned to him, so he would now just go back to the edit job field and edit the key ID. And I don't know if you noticed, but on there, on that section there, just below that job status, there was a tick box for the head mechanic that isn't there for there that said job awaiting approval. So we can say that it's awaiting approval, so that Ringo thinks it's finished, but it needs approved by either a system admin or a head mechanic before it can actually be saved. So we'll save those changes. And I think that was it. Yeah, I think it's the system admin now. Yeah, so for the rest of it, I'll just do the system admin account who has like sort of full access to everything, just to sort of make it easier on the switching. Again, we can see more parts, so we're going to edit that job again. You can sort of see the job finished approval there, but it was that wasn't there for the mechanic. So we can sort of say, yep, cool, job finished, save. And then now we can raise an invoice for that job. So if we go to add new invoice, we've got the job ID of 10, and then it lists everything. So it pulls everything from the parts field with the different prices, and then it tallies them up there. So we can add a new invoice. Invoice added successfully. If we try and do it again, it won't let us because there's already an ID with the thing exists. We can't create another invoice for the same job. And it also creates a text file here. So that today was the 7th of the 6th. I guess that top one. Create a text file and list them all out with the total amount at the bottom. So you could sort of dish that out to your customer, or you could potentially make something like a Word document that kind of formats it a bit better. End invoice. Yep. And then, so let's say we've got like a new staff member. So the admin area, which is the only person that, the only area which this guy can access the others can't. We've got like a staff user list. Lists all the current staff members that are currently on the thing on the company database. We can limit who's in here by typing part of the first name, I believe. So you put BAR. Yeah, it comes up with Barry, and it's not case sensitive, so you can put sort of whoever in. I think if you just put like an A in, it'll list. Yeah, it'll just list anyone that's got an A in. And finally, we can view an audit log. And while we've been sort of doing that, we can sort of see that everything has been logged and the things. So we've got like a successful login attempt by Alice, and the main menu was loaded, and what the time it was that was loaded. And if we scroll down, we sort of see everything that sort of happened in each person's sessions. Cool. And I don't know if you want to see it, but I've got add new staff and add new login. Is that something you're wanting to see?
That's great.
Cool. And yeah, I think that's it. So other than that, yeah, because it's an MDI form, we can sort of minimise stuff. So the selection for picking the combo boxes was, I wasn't sort of aware that you could only sort of select the ID, and it would be a bit finicky when if you try and put it a name in. So because it's an MDI form, you could have things like the task list sort of open to sort of use it as a reference while thing, and then you could just minimise it when you don't need it, and then put it. Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah, I think that was it. Oh yeah, that's also the quote of the day and the Hello Barry at the top. Yeah.
Cool. Well done.
Ah, cool.